God says, "My child, I know why your heart has felt unusually restless. I know why, without understanding the reason, you have looked toward the door a little longer, checked your phone a few more times, and sensed that something invisible has shifted around you. That feeling is not your imagination. It is not fear, and it is not false hope. It is the quiet movement of my hand arranging moments that no human eye can fully see. While you believed nothing was changing, I was already moving hearts, opening paths, closing dangerous doors, and preparing a meeting that could only happen when the time was completely right. Listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is not meant for everyone. It is meant for the one reading these words at this exact moment. Your soulmate is coming to see you, but for now it must remain a secret. There are reasons you cannot yet understand. There are conversations taking place that you have not heard. There are decisions being made behind closed doors that will affect your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. If I showed you everything today, your human heart would try to rush what I have chosen to unfold gently. So trust my silence as much as you trust my promises. My beloved child, your soulmate has carried your name inside their heart more times than you realize. Even on days when they appeared distracted, even when life demanded their attention elsewhere, there was always a quiet place inside them where thoughts of you remained alive. They have tried to convince themselves that forgetting would be easier. They have tried to silence emotions that refuse to disappear. Yet every attempt only reminded them that what I joined spiritually cannot be erased by distance, confusion, or time. They do not fully understand why your memory keeps returning, but I do. I planted something eternal inside both of you long before either of you recognized each other. That seed has continued growing beneath the surface, even through seasons that looked empty. My dear child, I know there were nights when you asked me if you had misunderstood everything. You wondered whether your prayers had gone unheard. You questioned whether the love you hoped for was simply another dream that would fade away. But I never stopped listening. Every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed was counted. Every lonely prayer whispered into the darkness reached my throne. Every moment you chose kindness instead of bitterness became another reason I continued preparing blessings beyond your understanding. Do not mistake my patience for absence. I have been working during every silent season. Even when nothing appeared to change, everything was quietly moving according to my perfect timing. Now something has begun that cannot easily be stopped. Your soulmate has entered a season of awakening. Small moments have started speaking loudly to their heart. A familiar song suddenly reminds them of someone they cannot explain. An ordinary street unexpectedly brings back forgotten emotions. A conversation with another person leaves them thinking about you instead. They are beginning to realize that no matter how far they travel emotionally, their heart keeps leading them back toward the place where my peace waits. They do not yet understand the full meaning of these signs, but each one gently moves them closer to the decision they have been avoiding. Beloved one, there is another reason this journey must remain hidden for now. Not every person surrounding your soulmate celebrates what heaven is building. Some voices speak from fear. Others speak from jealousy. Some simply do not understand the plans I have written for your future together. That is why I have covered this unfolding story with quietness. What grows beneath the soil is protected until it becomes strong enough to rise into the light. If every detail were revealed too early, unnecessary opinions would attempt to interfere with what only I have authority to complete. So do not become impatient with the secrecy. Sometimes my greatest miracles begin where almost no one is looking. My child, while you have been waiting, your soulmate has also been changing. They have learned lessons through disappointment. They have discovered that temporary attention cannot replace genuine connection. They have watched people make promises that disappeared as quickly as they were spoken. Through every experience, I have been shaping their heart so they will recognize the difference between excitement and covenant, between emotion and commitment, between attraction and lasting love. The person moving toward you is not exactly the same person you would have met months ago. Growth has changed them. Pain has humbled them. Mercy has softened them. And my presence has quietly prepared them for what comes next. Yet I also need you to understand something about your own journey. While you focused on what seemed delayed, I was transforming you as well. I strengthened parts of your spirit that once depended too heavily on human approval. I taught you how to stand when answers were delayed. I showed you that your identity was never meant to depend upon another person's choices. Before I unite two hearts, I often heal each heart separately. That healing is not punishment. It is preparation. A relationship built upon healed foundations can withstand storms that would destroy weaker foundations. Never regret the seasons that forced you to grow. They are becoming part of the blessing you will soon receive. My beloved child, there will soon come a moment that feels surprisingly ordinary. It may begin with a simple message, an unexpected phone call, or a quiet opportunity that appears almost insignificant. Do not overlook small beginnings. I often wrap extraordinary miracles inside ordinary moments so only those who trust me will recognize them. The meeting you have imagined may not arrive with dramatic announcements. It may come quietly, gently, almost unexpectedly. But when it happens, something deep within your spirit will become peaceful instead of anxious. You will not have to force certainty. My presence will speak louder than confusion. That peace will become one of the clearest signs that I am leading you. I know you sometimes worry about making mistakes. You ask yourself whether you will recognize the right moment or accidentally miss what I am sending. Release that fear today. The God who knows the stars by name is fully capable of guiding one willing heart. I am not depending on your perfection to accomplish my plans. I am depending on my faithfulness. Even when you cannot see the road ahead, I already stand at its end preparing your arrival. Trust that my guidance is stronger than your uncertainty. My dear child, there are still a few obstacles standing between you and the meeting I have prepared. Some are practical. Some are emotional. Some exist only because fear has not yet completely surrendered to faith. But understand this, obstacles do not always mean opposition. Sometimes they simply mark the final stages of preparation. A sculptor continues shaping stone until the masterpiece is ready to be revealed. Likewise, I continue shaping circumstances until the right moment arrives. Do not interpret temporary delays as permanent denial. The story is still unfolding, and I have not yet written its final chapter. Your soulmate has already begun considering choices they never imagined making. Quietly, without announcing it to everyone around them, they have started letting go of old attachments. Certain relationships no longer satisfy their soul. Certain habits no longer feel comfortable. Certain places that once seemed exciting now leave them empty. They may not realize why these changes are happening, but I do. I am gently clearing away everything that would compete with the future I have planned. Sometimes my preparation feels like loss before it feels like gain. Trust the process even when you cannot yet understand it. Beloved one, I also see the fears you rarely admit to anyone else. You wonder if you have waited too long. You wonder whether someone else will arrive first. You wonder if your past mistakes somehow disqualified you from receiving the love you have prayed for. Hear me clearly. Grace has always been greater than your failures. My plans were never based upon your flawless performance. They were built upon my unfailing love. What I have prepared for you has not been erased by your past. I am a God who restores what seemed impossible to restore. I redeem what appeared permanently broken. I create new beginnings where people expected endings. That has always been my way. So lift your eyes, my child. Continue walking faithfully. Continue becoming the person I created you to be. Continue choosing forgiveness instead of resentment, hope instead of despair, faith instead of fear. Every act of obedience is bringing you closer to the moment you have been praying about. And when your soulmate finally stands before you, you will understand why I asked you to trust me through every unanswered question. Until then, protect your peace. Guard your heart from voices that rush you into discouragement. Speak less about what I am quietly building, and spend more time listening for my voice. Not every blessing needs public attention before it is fully established. Some miracles grow strongest in sacred silence. Remember this secret, my beloved child, your soulmate is indeed coming to see you, but for now heaven has wrapped that journey in quiet protection. Let others misunderstand if they must. Let time continue doing its gentle work. What I begin, I always finish, and what I have written for your future no person can permanently cancel. Hold my hand a little longer, because the story you thought was ending is only now beginning. God says, my beloved child, remain patient a little longer because what I have hidden is not meant to keep joy from you but to protect the joy that is already on its way. I know there are moments when your heart whispers, if this promise is real, why is everything still so quiet? But I tell you, the quietness you are experiencing is not emptiness. It is preparation. Just as dawn begins while the world is still wrapped in darkness, the greatest movements of my hand often begin where no one notices them. Your soulmate is walking through a season they never expected. They are questioning old decisions, remembering forgotten prayers, and seeing life through different eyes. The changes within them are not accidental. Every experience, every unexpected conversation, every disappointment that seemed meaningless has been gently guiding them toward the future I designed long before either of you understood my plan. They cannot yet explain why their heart feels drawn in a direction they once resisted. They only know that something inside them refuses to remain the same. That is my spirit quietly leading them one faithful step at a time. My child, I have watched you carry hope with trembling hands. Sometimes you smiled while secretly wondering whether anyone truly saw your pain. Sometimes you encouraged others while your own heart silently longed for comfort. Yet even in those hidden moments, I never looked away. I collected every prayer that seemed to disappear into silence. I remembered every promise you held onto when circumstances gave you every reason to let go. Nothing has been forgotten. The answers you seek have been moving toward you long before you realized they had begun. There is a reason I have not allowed every detail to become visible. If people around you knew everything I was preparing, many would speak from fear instead of faith. Some would discourage you because they cannot imagine what I can accomplish. Others would attempt to interfere simply because they do not understand my timing. That is why I have surrounded this journey with quietness. Hidden roots grow stronger before branches reach toward the sky. A protected promise becomes a lasting testimony. Trust the covering I have placed over this season, for what is protected by my hand cannot be stolen by human opinions. Beloved one, your soulmate has been thinking about a conversation they hope to have with you. They have imagined different words, different moments, different ways to express what has remained locked inside their heart. At times they have felt courageous enough to move forward, only for fear to whisper that perhaps the opportunity had already passed. But I have not allowed fear to write the ending of this story. Every time uncertainty tried to stop them completely, I gently reminded them that love built upon truth is always stronger than fear built upon imagination. They are slowly discovering that peace waits on the other side of obedience. My dear child, while you have wondered if you should give up waiting, I have been teaching you something far more valuable than patience. I have been teaching you trust. Anyone can believe when every answer is visible. But true faith grows when you continue walking even though the next step has not yet been revealed. Your journey has strengthened your spirit in ways you will only fully understand later. The wisdom you gained through lonely seasons will become the very wisdom that protects your future relationship. The compassion born from your own wounds will help you understand your soulmate when they struggle to find the right words. Nothing you experienced has been wasted. I redeem every season surrendered into my hands. Soon you will notice subtle signs that the season is changing. Doors that remained closed for a long time will begin opening naturally. Delays that once frustrated you will quietly disappear. Opportunities you never forced will suddenly appear before you. Pay attention to the peace I place within your spirit more than the noise surrounding you. I do not always announce my miracles with thunder. Sometimes I reveal them through gentle confirmations that only a listening heart will recognize. Let your spirit remain still enough to hear my whisper above every fearful voice. My beloved child, I also want you to release every comparison that has tried to steal your joy. Do not measure your journey against someone else's timeline. I write every story differently because every heart requires a different path toward healing. What appears delayed in your eyes may actually be perfectly protected in mine. I know the exact day, the exact hour, and the exact moment when your paths will cross in the way that brings me glory and brings peace to your heart. Until that moment arrives, continue becoming the person I created you to be. Continue choosing kindness even when it is unnoticed. Continue believing even when evidence seems small. Continue loving me above every earthly desire. When your soulmate finally comes to see you, you will recognize that my timing was never late. It was always perfect. And when that secret journey becomes an open testimony, you will look back on these quiet days not with regret, but with gratitude, because you will finally understand that every silent step was leading you toward a future only I could see. God says, "My child, there is something your heart has not yet realized, and I want you to receive it without fear." The journey your soulmate is taking toward you is not simply about distance. It is about transformation. Before two lives can walk together in lasting peace, both hearts must learn to recognize my voice above every other voice. That is why I have allowed certain chapters to close quietly. I have allowed old expectations to fall away. I have permitted moments that seemed confusing because confusion often becomes the doorway to deeper wisdom when you continue trusting me. Your soulmate has begun noticing that the things which once distracted them no longer satisfy their spirit. The excitement they once chased now feels empty. The approval they once desired no longer brings lasting peace. They are beginning to understand that the answer they have been searching for cannot be found in temporary places. Without fully realizing it, they are being guided back toward the purpose I placed inside them, and that purpose includes a future that has been quietly connected to yours from the beginning. My beloved child, I know you have wondered whether they still remember you. Hear me carefully. There have been unexpected moments when your memory appeared without warning. It happened during ordinary days, in quiet evenings, while driving familiar roads, while hearing a certain melody, while watching the rain fall against a window. They tried to explain it away, yet the feeling returned stronger each time. That was not coincidence. I know how to awaken what fear tried to silence. I know how to remind a heart of what truly matters. What I have planted cannot remain buried forever. At the appointed time, truth always rises. Beloved one, there are prayers your soulmate has spoken that sound remarkably similar to yours. They have asked for clarity. They have asked for courage. They have asked me to remove anything standing between them and the life I intended for them. They may not realize that those prayers are already leading them closer to you. When two hearts sincerely seek my will, I begin aligning their paths in ways neither one could arrange alone. What seems impossible through human effort becomes natural when my hand is leading the way. That is why I ask you not to force what I have promised to guide. Rest in my wisdom instead of rushing ahead of my timing. My dear child, continue protecting your peace. Do not allow discouragement to settle where hope has been growing. There will always be voices that say nothing is changing because they can only judge by what they see. But you are called to live by faith, not by appearances. I have already begun moving pieces into place that cannot easily be reversed. Conversations are unfolding. Decisions are being made. Hearts are softening. Doors are preparing to open. Even now, while you are reading these words, I am working in places your eyes cannot reach. Never underestimate what I can accomplish in a single moment after months of quiet preparation. The day will come when your soulmate's secret journey is no longer hidden. What is now protected in silence will become a testimony of my faithfulness. You will understand why I asked you to wait, why I asked you to trust, and why I did not reveal every detail too soon. Until then, keep your eyes on me instead of your circumstances. Walk confidently through each day, knowing that I go before you. I am writing a story that no disappointment can erase and no obstacle can permanently delay. Hold on to hope, my beloved child. The footsteps drawing closer to your future are not guided by chance. They are guided by my hand, and when the appointed moment arrives, the peace I place within your heart will tell you that the season of waiting has given way to the season of fulfillment. God says, my beloved child, as the days continue to unfold, do not become discouraged if everything around you appears ordinary. I often hide extraordinary miracles inside ordinary moments so that only those who trust me will recognize my hand. There will come a day when you awaken believing it is just another morning, yet heaven will already be arranging encounters, conversations, and unexpected opportunities that quietly move your story forward. You may not notice it at first. You may think nothing significant has changed. But by the time the sun sets, your future will already be closer than it was when the day began. This is how I often work. I move gently before I move visibly. I prepare hearts before I reveal promises. I establish peace before I release blessings. That is why I ask you not to measure my faithfulness by what your eyes can immediately see. Measure it by the promises I have continually whispered into your spirit. Those promises have not expired. They have been waiting for their appointed season. My child, your soulmate has reached a place where pretending no longer brings comfort. They have discovered that ignoring what they truly feel only creates a deeper emptiness. The walls they built around their emotions are slowly beginning to fall, not because someone forced them to change, but because my love has been patiently reaching places that fear could never heal. They are remembering moments they once overlooked. They are recognizing lessons hidden inside painful experiences. Most importantly, they are beginning to understand that running from their calling has never brought them peace. The closer they draw to me, the closer they are drawn toward the future I prepared, and that future continues to lead them in your direction. Beloved one, do not be surprised if your own heart begins to feel lighter during this season. The burden you have carried for so long is starting to lift because I never intended for you to remain in constant uncertainty. I have seen the questions you never asked aloud. I have heard the prayers you could only whisper through tears. I know every disappointment that tried to convince you to stop believing. Yet I have also seen your faith refuse to disappear. Even when your strength was small, you continued turning toward me instead of away from me. That quiet faith has not gone unnoticed. Heaven honors every heart that continues trusting when the path is still unfolding. My dear child, there will be a moment when your soulmate realizes they cannot delay any longer. It will not come because someone pressures them. It will come because my peace will become stronger than their fear. They will understand that some opportunities are too precious to ignore. They will recognize that genuine love is not something to postpone indefinitely. When that realization settles deeply within them, the first step toward you will no longer feel impossible. It will feel necessary. That is why I tell you again to remain patient. What seems slow today is becoming steady tomorrow. What feels uncertain today is becoming clear through my guidance. Continue filling your days with hope instead of anxiety. Continue walking with confidence instead of fear. Keep your heart open, but keep it anchored in me above all else. When the secret journey I have protected finally reaches its destination, you will not merely celebrate the meeting itself. You will celebrate every quiet season that taught you to trust me more deeply. Then you will understand that every delay carried purpose, every silence carried protection, and every unanswered question was gently leading you toward an answer greater than you could have imagined. My promise still stands, my beloved child. I have not forgotten you, I have not abandoned your future, and I am faithfully guiding every step until the day what is hidden today becomes a testimony that fills your heart with peace and reminds you forever that my timing is always perfect. God says, my child, before that day arrives, there is one more lesson I want to write upon your heart. Do not allow anticipation to become anxiety. There is a difference between faithfully expecting my promise and becoming consumed by the timing of it. I never asked you to carry tomorrow on your shoulders. I only asked you to walk with me today. Every sunrise is another opportunity to trust that I am still leading you, even when you cannot see the destination. The enemy often tries to distract my children by convincing them that silence means abandonment, but my silence has never been the absence of my love. It is often the place where my deepest work is taking place. While you have been wondering what I am doing, I have been weaving together details too beautiful for human understanding. I have been protecting conversations that could have been misunderstood if they happened too soon. I have been arranging moments that will one day seem like perfect coincidences, though they were carefully planned by my hand long before they occurred. My beloved child, your soulmate has recently begun seeing life differently. They have started noticing how quickly temporary things disappear. Achievements that once seemed so important now feel incomplete. Applause fades. Success loses its excitement. Familiar routines no longer satisfy the longing inside their heart. They are beginning to realize that the peace they seek cannot be purchased, earned, or borrowed from another person. It must first be received from me. As they continue drawing closer to my presence, they are also drawing closer to the purpose I created for them. They may not fully understand why your name keeps returning to their thoughts, but every time it does, another layer of fear loses its power. I am gently replacing hesitation with courage, confusion with clarity, and uncertainty with quiet confidence. Beloved one, I also want you to remember that love built according to my will is never meant to be rushed by pressure or delayed by fear. It grows through honesty, patience, forgiveness, and trust. That is why I have spent this season shaping both of your hearts instead of merely bringing your paths together quickly. A blessing received before the heart is prepared often becomes difficult to protect. But a blessing received after spiritual growth becomes a testimony that endures through every season. Trust the wisdom behind my timing. I know exactly what each of you needed to learn before this next chapter could begin. My dear child, there may soon come a moment when something unexpected catches your attention. It may appear small to everyone else, yet your spirit will pause. A simple message, an unfamiliar opportunity, a familiar face appearing where you least expected, or a quiet invitation may become the beginning of something much greater. Do not dismiss gentle beginnings because they lack dramatic excitement. I have often chosen simple moments to reveal extraordinary miracles. Remain sensitive to my voice, for I will guide you with peace before I guide you with certainty. You do not have to fear missing what I have prepared. If your heart remains surrendered to me, I will faithfully direct your steps. My child, Continue praying not only for your own future but also for your soulmate's strength. They are still overcoming battles you cannot fully see. There are memories they are learning to release, disappointments they are allowing me to heal, and fears they are surrendering one by one. Do not judge the pace of their healing, because I have never stopped working within them. Just as I have carried you through difficult seasons, I am carrying them as well. The same mercy that restored your hope is restoring theirs. Soon, the distance that once seemed impossible will begin to disappear, not because of human effort alone, but because my grace is opening a path where neither of you could have created one. When that moment arrives, your heart will recognize something familiar that words cannot fully explain. You will realize that every prayer, every tear, every delay, and every lesson was preparing you for a meeting that carries my fingerprints upon it. Until then, remain faithful, remain hopeful, and remain close to me. I am still writing your story, my beloved child, and every page ahead is being filled with purpose, healing, and a future that will remind you forever that my promises never fail and my love never arrives too late. God says, my beloved child, as I bring this message to a gentle close, I want you to leave with peace instead of pressure. Do not spend your days trying to predict every step your soulmate will take. Do not allow fear to steal the joy of the present while you wait for the future. If I have spoken a promise over your life, I am also able to fulfill it in my perfect way and in my perfect time. What I begin, I complete. What I plant, I grow. What I promise, I never forget. Hold these words close to your heart whenever doubt tries to whisper louder than faith. Remember, my child, your greatest blessing has never been the relationship itself. Your greatest blessing has always been my presence walking beside you through every season. Whether you stood in moments of celebration or seasons of waiting, I never left your side. I was with you when no one understood your tears. I was with you when hope felt distant. I was with you when you quietly chose to trust me one more day. Those moments were never invisible to me. They became part of the testimony I am writing through your life. When your soulmate finally comes to see you, let your heart be filled with gratitude instead of fear. Do not carry the weight of the past into the future I am opening before you. Let forgiveness replace old pain. Let wisdom replace old insecurity. Let peace become the foundation upon which every conversation is built. The love I bless is not sustained by perfection but by humility, honesty, patience, and faith. Continue inviting me into every step, and I will guide both of your hearts with gentleness. If today is not yet the day you have been waiting for, do not lose hope. Every sunrise brings you one step closer to the future I have prepared. Even now, while you cannot see everything, I am still arranging what needs to be arranged, healing what needs to be healed, and opening what needs to be opened. Nothing is forgotten. Nothing is wasted. Every season has served a purpose. So lift your head, my dear child. Walk forward with confidence. Let your heart rest in my promises rather than in uncertainty. I have gone before you, I walk beside you, and I will remain with you in every tomorrow. The secret that has been protected will be revealed at the right time. The journey that seems hidden today will become a testimony of my faithfulness tomorrow. Until that day, remain faithful, remain hopeful, and remain close to me. I love you with an everlasting love, my child. Trust my timing, trust my heart, and trust my plan. The story is not ending in disappointment. It is unfolding according to my perfect purpose, and when you look back, you will see that every step was guided by my loving hand. Go forward in peace, for I am with you always.